Okay, next question. So we have a Ferris wheel. P is a point on the Ferris wheel, and it starts with P at the lowest point. So P starts here. And the lowest point, by the way, is 10 meters off the ground. So it starts here and it starts rotating, goes up, and then it goes down, and it goes up, and then it goes down. We need to write h of t, which is the height of the pod. Let's call this a pod with respect to time. So as time changes, it goes up. So we need to find this model essentially. I've just recently done a video on YouTube actually, which is about an IAID that's very similar to this. So that's definitely worth checking out that video as well. Anyway, what we need to find is A, B, and C essentially. So let's start with A. A, and I have to put the mod of A here, guys. I'll explain that in a second. So the modulus of A, the size of A, is the max minus the min over 2. It's the amplitude. So it's basically going to be this distance here. And you probably know already just from looking at this, because that's the diameter. That distance is going to be 55. But hopefully you've seen this formula. It's not in the formula booklet. But hopefully you know this formula and you can kind of relate to it. So the maximum height here is actually going to be 120, because this is 10 and this is 110, so we're up to 120, and the min is 10. That's the min. So it's 120 minus 10 over 2, which is 110 minus 2, which is 55. So the mod of A is 55. Now essentially what the mod of A means is just the modulus of A, or the size of A. So I know A is, the size of A is 55, but I don't know if it's positive or negative yet. Now I do know, but I'm going to just leave it at 55 for a second and we'll come back to it. So it's either going to be plus or minus 55. How do I find B? Well, the formula for B that you have to use is 2 pi over B is the period. Now you know the period is 20. Because it says 1 full revolution by the time it goes up and then down back to the start is 20 minutes. So period is 20. So it's 2 pi over B is equal to 20. And then I can just cross multiply here. However you need to do this. B is 2 pi divided by 20, which is pi over 10. So now I have B. And then C is this. It's the equation of this middle line here. It's bang in the middle. So the way we get that is we say it's max plus min over 2. Now you might guys just know what it is. Look, it's 55 plus the 10 is 65. So you can actually figure it out just by looking at it. But I do want you to get used to these rules, because depending on the question, these rules always work. So the max is 120. The min is 10, and then divide by 2, 120. The max plus the min. So the maximum is 110. 120 plus 10 is 130. Divided by 2 is 65. So C is 65. Now, therefore, H of T is equal to, now, if let's just try 55 for a second. If I have 55 cos of pi over 10t plus, let me just move this a bit, plus 65. Okay, so if you remember, what does a cosine function look like, guys? Well, a cosine function starts at the top and goes down, and then up, and then down, and then up, and then down, etc. But we don't want the situation where it starts at the top. We want it to start at the bottom and then go up and then down. Now you could say, well, maybe let's change it into a sine function, but they don't want that. He wants it as a cosine function. So we need to flip that. We need to have it starting here and then going up. Not like that. Starting here and then up and then down and then up. Now how do I do that? How do I flip this function like this? Well, I just make it negative. I make this part negative here. So I do want the negative cosine function. Now it's worth, and I can write then, A is A is negative 55, because it says find the values of A, B, and C. A is negative 55, B is pi over 10, and C is 65. This is the one that gets people. They often just write 55. Remember, you have your calculator, so you can actually graph it. That's actually not the function. So imagine you started off with 55 cos of this plus 65, and you graphed it, and you see, well, hang on, this is when time is 0. So you'd say, well, hang on, when time is 0, when we start, he's 130 meters up in the air. So that's something wrong there. And use the trace function, guys, because you can by tracing along here, you know this has to be 120. Yes, it is. And then this has to be 10. Yes, it is. But sorry, yeah, we don't want to start at the top. We want to start at the bottom. So if I change this to a negative, like so, it flips it, and now we have a situation where the max is at 10 after 10 minutes and 120 seconds, and the minimum is at 0, 10. And remember, you could, once you have this graph now, you can answer any questions. Like, for example, let me add in another question. If when time, or after 5 minutes, how high is the Ferris wheel, or how high is the pod? You just press 5, enter, and there you go. There you have it, 65. After 7 minutes, it's at 97.328, etc. Okay, done.